Everybody, Global Karen here. I'm gonna do a reaction to Dub Meat. I think it's the 1976 Carrie. I seen the reboot, not the the remake. Technically, remake is a reboot of Carrie. I think it was 2013. I seen that one, but never seen the actual the. I never seen the original one. Carrie, I think Carrie's about this high school girl who got psychic powers and she got an abusive mother. Then I think when she went to prom, they uh they pranked her and put fake blood on her and she started killing people. But that's what I remember. I think they still do the same thing here. But I hope y'all enjoy this video and subscribe to Demi channel. Well, subscribe to him first and watch this video before come to my channel right before me. Let's just say that, and let's get started.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Carrie, released in 1976. Carrie is based on Stephen King's first published...
I did not know Stephen King. I forgot Stephen. I never knew Stephen King made Carrie. He do make a lot of movies.
work. This uncharacteristically short book from 1974. It was the first of over 100 screen adaptations of King's stories, made just 2 years after the book was published. It was so early in his career, in fact, that the movie...
So Carrie was the first book, and movie that he made before he started making all these other movies. Okay, that's interesting.
His trailer didn't even vocalize King's name, and even spelled his first name wrong in the text.
Based on the chilling bestseller.
Carrie is considered an essential film, though, unlike most other Stephen King adaptations. Looking at you, Maximum Overdrive. It was directed by Brian De Palma, a master of the suspense genre who often gives his violent films a touch of eroticism. Aside from the opening locker room scene, that kind of prurience is mostly absent from Carrie. A relief, given that
because now I saw that scene. Carrie's mother is religious, and she thought her daughter was like a demon or something because Carrie got psychic powers.
Follows a shy 16-year-old high school student. Carrietta White is teased by her classmates and abused by her fanatically religious mother. But they're not gonna have Carrie to kick around anymore.
That's why I don't like religious people like that. Instead, they take religion way too far. You don't see it. You don't see it happen a lot, but it are people that do that. I'd be like, chill the fuck out with the whole religion thing. Chill out.
Her late arriving puberty triggers some latent telekinetic powers. The movie's climactic prom scene is often referenced in pop culture, and the original De Palma classic would be followed by a very 1999 sequel, The Rage Carrie 2, as well as a made-for-TV remake in 2002, and a big...
Did not know that.
Girl theatrical remake in 2013, all of which I'll be...
That's the one I watched, the theatrical remake.
Covering over the next couple of weeks. But it all started here with the original. Let's see how many people die in it and get to the kills.
I think it wasn't that many people who died in this movie.
The movie begins in gym class, where outcast Carrietta White blows the volleyball game. That kind of fumble earns her overly loud hat smacks and accusations of an unsavory diet.
You eat shit.
Carrie is, of course, played by Sissy Spacek in a performance that earned her an Oscar nomination. She got the role for this unkempt character through some crafty auditioning techniques.
So when I went into the test the next morning, I don't think I even washed my face. They had hair and makeup there, and they saw me come in, and they just ran for me because I would just look so awful. And of course, I was no.
We get an insanely naked title card, followed by an insanely naked opening credits. But since YouTube is apt to demonetize videos even with censored nudity, I'll just have to relay this scene in super fucking close-ups, showing the only parts of the frame without boobs and bush everywhere. Carrie's usually able to find solace in her showers, judging by these loving close-ups.
Let's be honest, these are high school students. I don't know how old Carrie is in the movie.
Composer Pino Donaggio's sensual score. But today, Carrie's momentary peace is about to shatter because she just got her first period. By the looks of it, she wasn't expecting this right now. Nor, ever? Carrie thinks there's something wrong with her, so she asks her cruel classmates for help. But they just respond with jeers and a barrage of tampons to the face, all while chanting at her to plug it up.
Yeah, Carrie was like 16 years old because, like you said, she had puberty and she started developing powers.
Carrie is saved, and also slapped, by her gym teacher, Miss Collins, though not before her emotions trigger a bit of bulb busting. Miss Collins is a sympathetic figure for Carrie, and a much bigger character than
I love how she's sympathetic, but she slaps Carrie for some reason.
her book counterpart, Miss
weird part.
Desjardins. That's because Brian De Palma really liked actor Betty Buckley and wanted a bigger role for her. Collins goes to Principal Morton, the man in charge here at Bates High School, which, yes, is an homage to Psycho. But Morton is so aloof and indifferent to Carrie's existence, he can't even remember her name.
Go home. Take care of yourself, Cassie.
It's Carrie.
No, seriously, this guy might have some brain damage. He forgets it after like 5 seconds.
We're all sorry about this incident, Cassie.
It's Carrie.
Yo, did Carrie just audition for a truth commercial? Nah, she ain't flipping ashtrays as a message. She's just lashing out with her mind bullets. That's telekinesis, Bike Kid.
Creepy Carrie! Creepy Carrie!
Bike Kid there was played by the director's nephew, Cameron De Palma, although his voice, yelling Creepy Carrie,
Creepy Carrie! Creepy Carrie!
was done by Betty Buckley. Carrie's mother is Margaret White and is played by Piper Laurie, coming out of a 15-year acting retirement after her previous role in 1961's The Hustler. The Hustler earned Laurie an Oscar nomination, as did Carrie, and that might be a record.
Retired for movies 15 years ago. After this timeline, then she came back for this movie.
For the longest time between 2 subsequent roles that were both nominated. Carrie ended up revitalizing Laurie's career, even though she wasn't a huge fan of the movie.
We saw the movie and everyone seemed to enjoy it, but I really don't know what I saw.
Margaret is the town's religious fanatic, going door to door in her little hobbit cape, spreading the good word of JC to all her neighbors.
I pray you find Jesus.
And I pray you find Mordor, Ms. White. Make sure you take some elfin bread. When she finds out about Carrie's incident at school, Margaret loses her Jesus-loving mind and beats her daughter down with some accusatory literature. She blames Carrie for her original sin, but her daughter bites back, angry that she was left in the dark about her biology.
You should have told me, Mama. You should have told me.
Her cries for sex ed are met with a visit to the Chokey, where she's forced to pay tribute to a figure somehow scarier than your average crucifix, the statue of Saint Sebastian pierced with arrows.
What the hell type of statue is this of Jesus Christ?
This
He look like he is becoming a demon.
Holy Nightmare Fuel was made by art director Jack Fisk, who would get Oscar nominations for production design for his work on There Will Be Blood and The Revenant. He also played the Man in the Planet in David Lynch's Eraserhead, but most interesting to me is that he and Sissy Spacek married in 1974, 2 years before this movie was made, and are still together today. Their marriage 46 years strong. In fact, during that difficult locker room scene, Fisk was on set with Spacek in the shower to put the blood in her hand. Carrie's let out of the praying closet when Margaret decides that she's ready for a trademark De Palma split diopter shot. If you're unfamiliar with what a split diopter shot is, Carrie's editor Paul Hirsch explains here.
He used what is known as a split diopter lens, in which you can focus on something close on one side and focus on something distant on the other side. And the effect is you have, in a way, a built-in split screen. Brian is able to take people in different...
He tells us a split screen, but he's just making it look like it's in the same thing, same place.
Faces and sort of brings them together into the image on the film.
At school, Carrie lands herself in another split diopter shot as she comments on the poetry of school hunk Tommy Ross.
It's beautiful.
Tommy's a nice guy who stands up for Carrie when their teacher, Mr. Fromm, laughs at her, and he was played by William Katt, who auditioned for Luke Skywalker but didn't get the role. De Palma and George Lucas actually cast Carrie and Star Wars together after striking up a friendship a few years earlier at
So they both supposed to be in Star Wars, but they didn't get the roles. That's the interesting part right there.
Warner Brothers.
Lucas and De Palma were the only directors on the lot who had beards. So they became friendly.
Wow, maybe facial hair really does matter after all. Carrie gets to skip out on gym class, where the rest of the girls are lined up by Miss Collins and told that they're in trouble for all that Carrie cackling they did. Among the students are Helen Shires, played by frequent voice actor Edie McClurg in her film debut, the red cap wearing Norma Watson, played by PJ Soles, who would totally go on to be in Halloween 2 years later, as well as the 1996 classic Uncle Sam, lest we forget, and Chris Hargensen, the head BIC of the Mean Girls, played by Nancy Allen. There's also Sue Snell, who's played by Amy Irving, and who's the only one who kind of feels bad about the toxic.
Wait, why she looks like the mother of? Why it look like they mother and daughter in this?
Shock they gave to Carrie. Miss Collins wants to ban all these ladies from prom, but according to Principal Morton, they're instead to endure a week of detention under Collins's rule. And that means disciplinary workouts to wacky music. Play that zonky synthesizer, biatch!
3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2,
Please don't give me copyrighted. Please.
3, 4.
Oh, but please, watch those lower backs, ladies. Knee push-ups aren't shameful, but bad form is. Chris Hargensen tries to rebel against this Tony Perkisian treatment, only to get banned from prom and slapped by Collins.
Damn.
Holy shit, lady, you can't do that.
You guys just go around just slapping some person's child. Well, at this timeline in the 1970s, even the 80s and 90s, teachers at this time would have the authority to slap kids. I don't know why. I don't know why they had the authority to slap random parents as childs. But it was in that timeline. Nowadays, if a teacher slaps a kid, you really do have to talk to the principal about it, because it's like kind of abuse.
We can't get away with this if we all stick together, Norma!
Shut up, Chris. Just shut up.
Oh, maybe she can do that back then. If that slap looks real, by the way, it's because it was. De Palma wanted a realistic reaction, so he had Betty Buckley
So they actually she actually slapped her.
slap Nancy Allen a whole bunch of times. The exact number varies depending on who you ask.
And they did about 10 takes.
You know, I slapped her, I think, about 12 times.
She slapped me 29 times.
It's the person who got slapped. I think it was this lady. I think she said she got slapped like 29 times, so they don't even know how many times she got slapped. I wish that they had the exact number, someone written down the exact number somewhere. To at least, when you keep doing shots, at least estimate how many times she did the shots.
But I guess Nancy Allen didn't hold it against the director, since a few years later, they got married. Sue Snell goes
Wait,
to the
what?
track and meets
Wait, so the director let her get slapped, but they got married after that? That's hilarious.
her boyfriend Tommy Ross so she can Snell tell him she wants him to take Carrie White to prom as a sort of atonement. Carrie can go ahead and have that feather-haired hunk. Chris Hargensen don't mind. She's got a first-wave John Travolta as her fast-driving boy.
John Travolta in this movie? It's a young John Travolta.
Boy, and he's a big fan of her boobies. Ha, boobies are rocking and rolling and whatnot. A drink to boobies. Although Billy Nolan is prone to general horn-doggedness and some slappy anger issues, he's still a much goofier character than his book counterpart, who's one of those scary Stephen King sociopaths. To recruit this dunce for her plans, Chris goes down on him, hoping it'll
What's
convince.
that movie where he was with Okay, okay. Look, I didn't know he was in Grease. Okay, he played the main character of Grease. I seen the second Grease a lot than the first Grease. I'm trying to I'll try to look it up right here. John Travolta. I tried to see that he played with Samuel L. Jackson, or it was somebody else. I think it was somebody else. But let's go back to Carrie.
Him to help her bully her favorite target.
Billy, I hate Carrie White.
Oh, geez, how you talking right now? Tommy approaches Carrie in the school library and asks her to go to prom with him. But her reaction is to run away. So, I don't know, is that a maybe? Carrie is found by Miss Collins, and she tells the teacher why she's so worried about Tommy's promy proposal.
He's trying to trick me again, I know.
The gym teacher tells her to think more positively and also to maybe put some makeup on her face. But she means it as a compliment. I swear, she's a really nice lady. Still, she shares Carrie's skepticism and grills Sue and Tommy, asking them what they're up to with all this. Sue promises she means well and would happily miss out on
They the ones that really are trying to be nice to Carrie, try to help her.
dance if it means Carrie can go with Tommy, who is rearing to prom it up. I mean, look, he's already got his Canadian tux on. He finally secures Carrie as his date when he drives to her house after school and refuses to leave her porch until she says yes. And who says romance is dead? This scene is one of about a dozen that wasn't originally in the novel. Instead, it was created by screenwriter Lawrence Cohen, who had been familiar with the story since he read King's manuscript of the novel years earlier. 14 years later, Cohen would write another King adaptation, penning the teleplay for the 1990 It miniseries. That night, Chris, Billy, and some other ne'er-do-wells sneak into a pig farm kept behind an impressively painted wall. That mural still exists today at Farmer John, the meatpacking plant in Vernon, California, where they shot this scene. Fun fact, that location was discovered by Jack Fisk's assistant, Bill freaking Paxton, before he would begin his act.
So the girl, the mean girl, she told her boyfriend that she hates Carrie, and I think she wanted him to do something about it. So I think that scene where you saw right there, they about to get the blood from cows. So that means they had to kill a cow, get the blood of the cow, and have to put all that in there. So it's fake blood, it's fake movie blood, but in the movie itself, they just kill a cow to put real blood on her.
Career that included Predator 2 and Aliens.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
Billy picks a pig, and while Chris
I forgot that cause I always be in the memes that game over line, but I forgot it was in Aliens 2.
roots him on, gets to work with a sledgehammer. Do it. They take the pig's blood
She's just enjoying it. She's just like, kill that cow.
to the high school and into the gymnasium.
Kill that innocent animal.
They pour it into a bucket placed high up in the rafters. Over dinner with Jesus and his disciples, Carrie tells her mother that she's accepted an invitation to the prom because she's sick of being an outcast.
All the kids think I'm funny. I don't want to be. I want to be normal.
Well, normal people don't wear tea on their face, so you're off to a bad start, Care Bear. Margaret ain't having it and tells Carrie she'd better tamp down all that boy talk.
To the blood come the boys, like sniffing dogs.
Well, that's not proper dinner talk, especially with the J-Man over. Carrie once again gets psychic power pissed, while Pino
I think people just misinterpret the Bible and stuff. It's like, why do this?
DiMaggio pays homage to Bernard Herrmann's Psycho score. She plays off her powers like they ain't no thing,
If I concentrate hard enough, I can move things.
calling them run-of-the-mill psychic powers. But Margaret says they come from the devil and prays for her daughter as Carrie gets to work on her dress. Word of Tommy and Carrie's prom plan spreads all throughout the school, getting discussed at hair salons and atop dangerously tall ladders. Seriously, holy shit, those girls are like 2 stories up, yo! And Carrie's not the only one getting...
This was, like I said, this is in 1970s. Well, in the mid 1970s. So things at that time when, well, like a lot of things to go try to put stuff up in ladders and stuff. At that time it was pretty dangerous because they didn't know what they were doing then. Like I said, like new building equipment and technology and stuff wasn't a big prominent thing at the time. I think when it hits like the 90s or the 80s.
Ready for the big night. Tommy and his pals are so excited to rent tuxes, they're talking a mile a minute. I've always found that moment too goofy by half, but I guess editor Paul Hirsch really wanted to avoid a jump cut, even though there are others in the very same scene. Carrie finishes her makeup that night while wearing her homemade dress, which her mother is not a fan of.
I can see your dirty pillows. Everyone will.
Breasts, Mama. They're called breasts. And every woman has them.
She's got a point, Margaret. Remember what that dude in Texas Chainsaw 4 said to Renee Zellweger?
Girls have tits.
It's a well-known fact, but boobs or not, Margaret doesn't want Carrie to go, claiming the other kids will all make fun of her.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
I had to say this that the mother is I had to say, even though I don't like the mother in this movie, that how she's abusing her daughter. But she's had to say she's 100% right. And this is that one, Carrie didn't know that the kids was about to do this, so Carrie was like, "You don't know what you're talking about." So, but the audience knows that the kids were planning on spilling blood on her in prom, so they just going to let her be prom queen. They do the prank on her. So everyone's everyone, I think everyone who watched this movie at the time a little bit agrees with the mother. Like, Carrie don't go to the prom, but she still did.
She doesn't want to listen to her mother's frantic warnings, especially with Tommy having just arrived outside, so she mind slaps her to the bed and leaves. They arrive at the dance, where Tommy's a proper gentleman, opening Carrie's door so they can head inside the admittedly bumpin' high school prom. He and his friends are really kind towards Carrie, even if some other kids there laugh and or stare. Their conversation's a little staid though, so Tommy swaps out for Miss Collins, who's proud of the girl's makeover and tells her she's happy Carrie's there. Aw, that's nice. When Tommy returns, Carrie's warmed up from Collins, so he's able to successfully flirt with her and invite her to an after party. All that's left for Tommy to say is, let's dance, so they sway through the crowd to an empty space, where he teaches her what to do. Man, it's so sad when you know what's coming to see how sincerely Tommy and Miss Collins have tried to make Carrie have a good time. She even scores a smooch from the guy. Just don't get dizzy from this endlessly spinning shot, you two. You wouldn't want to puke in each other's faces. No, seriously, this spinning shot goes on forever. Here's the rest of it in fast motion, just to show you how long it is. It ended up physically affecting the crew, who had to run around a circular dolly to shoot it.
And the dolly was going around and around.
Were super dizzy doing it. Like I said, again, this is a time when technology wasn't a big thing. I think technology now, I think they got machines where they can go around the place and stuff. But at the time, they had to go. He had to run around, circle around the place. I know they were super dizzy at the time.
And around faster and faster and faster and faster until at the end, almost everybody fell in the floor, including Brian fell in the floor but we were going really fast.
Although she doesn't have a date, Sue Snell comes to the dance anyway, so she can make sure Tommy and Carrie are having a good time. Carrie was, but now she isn't, since she just learned that she and Tommy are included on the ballots for prom king and queen. But the Tomster just about charms that dress off her dirty pillows.
Hey, you're beautiful.
So she scribbles an X for the odd couple.
To the devil with false modesty.
The devil.
While Carrie's at the dance, why don't we check back in with her mom for a mo?
Just couldn't care.
Actually, let's stick with the dance.
Yeah.
Things are about to get choppy here too, since Chris and Billy are hiding out below the prom stage, ready to start their blood dumping. Their plan is enacted in one of the coolest long takes I've ever seen, the so-called figure 8 shot. It starts at Carrie and Tommy's table, as their ballot is collected by Norma, who wore her stupid red hat to the dance like her head would fall off without it. The shot goes on for 2.5 minutes without cutting, as we watch Norma collect all the ballots and then swap them out with faked ones. She hands them into the vote counters and signals at Chris and Billy beneath the stairs, before we see Sue arrive in the gym.
Oh, so Tommy's friend, cause I think that was like one of his friends, the girl. So she was working with Chris and them. That's kind of fucked up.
Peer out from behind the stage. The shot then follows the rope up the decorations and over to the bucket of blood sitting in the rafters, precariously perched above the stage. Finally,
So Tommy's girlfriend came to the prom, but she didn't know what was going on.
the shot zooms in on the place it began, to Carrie and Tommy's table as they're announced the winner of the election. Director of photography, Mario Tassi, called it the most difficult thing to shoot. And no fucking wonder.
Yeah.
This was before modern-day film equipment,
Yeah.
like sophisticated cranes and computers that could help calibrate shots.
Yeah, it can help calibrate shots like that, but I know it took them so long to get that shot and everything else. Cause I think it took them days or even weeks to do all that.
The shot took more than a day to set up and light properly.
It took like one day to do all that.
and more than 30 takes to get right, since there was so much involved that could go wrong. The studio was not happy about how long it was taking to do, but De Palma stood his ground and got it in the end.
Fire me, basically. That was my attitude.
The announcement of Carrie and Tommy as the winners kicks off a dreamlike slow-motion sequence that goes on for more than 4 minutes. The photography is beautiful, with a lot of point-of-view shots showing how each character is experiencing this moment, and it's all capped off by more memorable music by Pino Donaggio. As Carrie and Tommy take the stage, Sue notices that rope and
this is when Sue noticed the blood. It was already too late. Sue it took Sue so long to figure it out. Because if Sue figured it out, she would have stopped it, but it was already too late.
Bucket it's attached to. Her gawking and subsequent attempt to foil the nefarious plan gains the attention of Miss Collins, who assumes the Snell girl is playing a prank on Carrie after all. That's why Miss Collins drags Sue through the gymnasium and tosses her out of front.
Oh, okay, so she was about to warn them, but the teacher thought she was planning this. So she just threw her out, but she gonna learn that it wasn't her fault.
Closing the doors behind her, right as Chris licks her lips and orgasmically pulls the rope. It's a blood dump, more infamous than the one in Look-See Season 2. And although it's an awful prank, Norma immediately starts giggling. Tommy becomes incensed, but as he yells for an explanation, not audibly, this part is all silent, he gets hit in the head by the falling bucket. And
Wait, what? He died? I didn't know he died in this movie. He died from a falling bucket. Like, how's that possible?
Oh, it seems...
I think it's because the bucket is way in the thing, so I think the bucket is... Cause I don't know how high the bucket was to kill Tommy. So I want to excuse it, but if it wasn't that high, it's like, what the fuck? How did he die like that?
It's weird to count this as a kill, but that's what's traditionally done, honestly. Everyone counts this dude as dead from that.
So, okay. People count this as a kill for some reason. I don't know how people count that. I think because you don't see him no more. But alright.
Norma thinks that death is hilarious, I guess, and her laughing evokes a Margaret memory in Carrie's mind. Not sure how much of this kaleidoscope humiliation is real, but screenwriter Larry Cohen confirms that Miss Collins' laughing is not. It's just a product of Carrie's paranoia. But even if...
Oh, okay, because people weren't laughing. I think some people weren't even laughing at this point. Because you saw the two other people weren't laughing at Carrie, but Carrie saw them too laughing, so I think it is a product of our imagination because of the blood and what happened to Tommy. Just fuel rage on her, and she just starts killing people.
Laughing is subjective. It's still real to Carrie, damn it, so she starts to enact some split-screen vengeance. Although Billy and Chris get out in time, Carrie closes all the other doors in the auditorium and changes the gym's hue lights to a much more crimson color. It's time for shit to hit the fan, starting with a couple of dudes who get crushed as they try to get out the doors. I'm not gonna count those two guys as dead right now, though. It's not the same as the bucket to me, since we see Tommy splayed out like a dead body here. That's never the case with the door dudes. And I'm also not going to count it when Carrie sprays Norma down with the fire hose and knocks her out, even though in real life, this stunt ended up breaking PJ Soul's eardrum.
I guess he wanted me to, get batted around with the fire hose, but the fire chief said it's very dangerous to put the fire hose on full force. I really don't want to do it. And Brian's like, no, we have to have it look real. I want a full force of water coming out. When I turned my head, it was so strong, full force went into my ear and just instant pain.
I feel bad for her. Oh, they even she didn't want to do it, but I think because the water was real legit hitting her in the ear with full force, it makes a whole lot of sense why it almost damaged her eardrums from that.
And that's the last shot you see is actually my eardrum bursting, which you lose your sense of equilibrium, and I just slid down like that. So no acting involved, complete pain.
One guy tries to wrangle the hose, only to hit the spotlights, taking us out of red Tinto vision, before Carrie directs the stream towards the mic on stage where Principal Morton and Mr. Fromm are. That finally gives me another kill to count when Principal Morton is electrocuted and thrown off stage. Talk about a hot mic. Another fatality I'll sadly have to count is Miss Collins's, since she's killed by a backboard that swings down and crushes her. It's tragic since she only ever looked out for Carrie, but her
I feel bad for Miss Collins. She died for no reason, even though she was trying to help Carrie.
death adds a nice moral ambiguity to Carrie's runaway destruction. Mr. Fromm then finally meets his own end when he's shocked backwards by the mic stand and extra electrocuted against the light board there. Oh, with a little fire for good measure too. Carrie, completely covered in blood, walks through the flaming chaos, which Spacek actually had to do. She was only about 12 feet away from the flames on set, and it was a set. While most of the school scenes were shot at Pacific Palisades High School, they had to recreate the gym on a soundstage for the fire. Good thing they did, since the soundstage ended up catching fire. Carrie leaves the gym and locks the doors behind her with her mind, condemning everyone inside to death. And let me tell you, I was pretty pissed rewatching this movie for the kill count, because I thought I'd have to go through the shots during the crowning ceremony and count.
He has to look at every single one of those people, because she just locked the doors. She just locked the doors, so you don't know. So you have to go back, count all these people who die in the scene.
Each and every little fucker I could find in freeze frames. But then I watched The Rage Carrie 2, which is canon, I think, and the beautiful bastard who wrote that movie included this line.
Night of the prom. 73 people died.
So thank you.
73 people died. So Carrie killed 73 people. Okay.
The Rage Carrie 2. Because of that info, I was able to do some math and determine that 65 other individuals died at the dance, most of them from the fire. Since the line specifically says that on the night of the prom, 73 people died, I'm subtracting the 4 kills we've already counted, Tommy, Collins, Morton, and Fromm, as well as the 4 upcoming kills I've yet to count. But presumably, the 65 people I'm counting now include the duo of door dudes and Norma, the wet wonder. Got it? Cool. As a fire truck races past Carrie towards the school, Chris and a very drunk Billy drive straight towards the blood-soaked prom queen, intending to run her over after having seen her TK massacre. Let me know how that goes, Chris. Oh, not great, huh? Their car is sent flipping around off the road, and with one more multi-zoom in, Carrie blows it up entirely, incinerating Chris and Billy inside. That awesome car flip was performed by stunt coordinator Dick Zeiker. Jack Fisk explains how he did it.
Dick Zeiker was the stunt coordinator on the film. He'd built a cannon in the middle of this car, and in that cannon they put about a 2.5-foot sawed-off piece of a telephone pole with a charge on top of it. Now he's driving this car, and he has a switch on the steering wheel. When he pushes that switch, the charge will go off and shoot.
So it was a cannon under the car with the broken telephone pole. So he had a switch for it and exploded it. I don't know how he did it, but he did it.
That telephone pole into the ground and flipped the car over.
They shot it right before the sun came up, and no one got hurt. So awesome work there, Mr. Zeiker. Carrie heads home, skipping the town-wide mayhem she causes in King's book, since it just would have been too costly to film. She walks into her house to find an
in the book, she did a lot more. Okay, so in the book, she did a lot more. She, I think in the town she did a lot more of killings and stuff until she went home, but they cut that scene out.
Responsible number of candles lit all over the damn place. Seriously, that is a fire hazard if I've ever seen one. That Last Supper rug is halfway into those flames. That fridge has a rounded top. And that better be one of those mattresses with a glass of wine and the bowling ball, Margaret. Carrie goes upstairs
If I remember, I think Carrie and the mother died because Carrie blew the house down, I think.
The bathroom, where she fills up the tub and scrub-a-dub-dubs off the blood. She changes into a, teal cult robe, and when her mother finally emerges from behind a door, she hugs her, hoping to find relief. Instead, Carrie finds a confession.
I should have killed myself when he put it in me. after the first time, before we were married.
Margaret tells Carrie that after marrying her father Ralph, she demanded a sexless marriage as to not live in sin. Even though I thought once you were married, it was all good to,
Yeah, I thought you were like married. It's all good to have sex with each other, but alright.
What? Never mind. But Ralph grew bored of celibacy and, drunk one night, forced himself onto Margaret, who admits she had a favorable reaction to it.
I liked it. Well, that dirty touching on his hands on me all over me.
That's the night Carrie was conceived, and Margaret thinks that because she was conceived in sin, that's the reason she's got these devilman powers. Which is why she goes to take care of that demonry with a little stabby. The strike shocks Carrie and sends her down the stairs, but while her mother's ready to bless her with the Father, Son, and Holy Shiv, Carrie's not gonna stand for this abuse anymore. She defends herself by sending a bevy of knives and utensils into her mom, some of which pin her in place, some of which stab her in the torso, and some of which have very obvious wires attached to them.
Yeah,
Seriously, kind of hard to ignore that. Margaret's reaction to the attack is, something.
In the I think in the remake they cut all this out.
I'd feel awkward too, Carrie. After all that moaning, Margaret died, arms spread out in an imitation of that St. Sebastian statue in their closet. What a way to go. Crucified in the kitchen with cutlery.
Okay, so I think the remake is way different than the old one.
Margaret's death in the book is a lot simpler, with Carrie using her powers to stop her mom's heart. That's not exactly a visually interesting death.
So in the book, Carrie stopped the mother's heart, then all that. But I think they want to change it because, like you said, visually it didn't really appeal. So they wanted to make it a little bit more gory and stuff. It wasn't gory, but a lot more like a cool scene
to have in a movie. So De Palma came up with this symbolic end at the last minute, which took them an entire day to film. Carrie slowly gets up and screams at the realization of what she's done, an emotional outburst that quickly begins to destroy the house. She drags her mom's body into the prayer closet as their house falls apart around them, and Carrie White dies in the closet from being crushed by debris.
Yeah, because I knew it was. I remembered that she killed herself in the killed herself by destroying the house, but I never knew that when she killed her mother, she killed herself as well.
If that didn't do it, the house catching fire probably did. And if that didn't do it, well, I mean, the thing is sinking into the goddamn earth there. Yeah. She's pretty screwed, all right? Oh, shit, did I just say goddamn? Sorry, Scary Seabass. For this final scene of destruction, Jack Fisk built a half-scale version of Carrie's house on top of an elevator over a pit. That miniature is what they set on fire before the elevator dropped it into the ground. The movie ends with Sue Snell, survivor of the prom night massacre, visiting the grave of Carrie White. But why is her grave marker a for sale sign? And why is this being filmed with an inch of Vaseline all over the lens? Well, because it's a dream, motherfuckers! Shot backwards and played in reverse to give it an eerie effect. That's why that car is driving backwards over there. De Palma came up with this ending late into production, giving us one more memorable moment with a Deliverance-inspired jump scare. How many people were killed in Carrie? Oh shit, I already answered that when I showed that clip from the sequel.
We just answered that. Like 73 people died.
Well, whatever. I've still got a show to do. So come on, let's get to the numbers.
Yeah, 73.
73 people died in Carrie, according to the beloved and popular sequel. My count included 6 known dudes, 5 known ladies, and 62 assorted victims at the
Carrie Rage fist the whole bill. Cause I never knew it was a sequel to Carrie.
Dance, giving us a prom pie that's mostly a sickly gray. Gross. With a runtime of 98 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 1.19 minutes.
1.19 minutes? How that's possible? It was no kills I think because he put into the end of the movie. Makes sense.
I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Margaret White. Visible wire or not, it's so overtly symbolic that I can't help but appreciate it. Dull machete for lamest kill will go to Tommy Ross, because obviously. Props to William.
It was so dumb how he died from a fucking bucket hitting him in the head. Again, the bucket was so far, so like high up, really high, but it's still really high. But the bucket wasn't even that high, so it's like it was so dumb.
Cap for getting his death scene.
I get he get knocked out for it. He gets knocked out, like he wants to go unconscious, but dying from it makes no sense.
Done in one take, though. And that's it. Carrie came out in 1976, and a shot from the prom scene is included in the extended Dead Meat intro used for non-kill count videos. If you don't know what I'm talking about, try watching non-kill count videos. Next week is the not actually beloved or popular sequel, The Rage Carrie 2. But until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count. Thanks a lot.
I hope y'all enjoy this video. Like and subscribe to the channel, and go and subscribe to Dead Meat channel. And so, like I said earlier in the video, go watch this video first before coming over here and react to my video with his. But I hope you enjoy your day, and we'll see you guys later. And goodbye.